Hey, this is going to be a little bit more of a casual video because I'm not sure if it's really worth doing a lot of research and is a little bit more than a rant. This might be my most controversial video yet, at least from what I can tell. Okay. Can we stop supporting bad content? Let me explain. You would think it's easy enough to say, yeah, why would I watch something bad on purpose? It's less about supporting bad things and more supporting a well-beloved genre of TV show and movie called the good bad genre. Guilty pleasure movies. Movies and TV shows that are so bad, so embarrassing, so annoying that you can't help but love them. The same way I love eating an entire order of Domino's jalapeno cheesy garlic bread in one sitting. I know I shouldn't be doing it, and I know it's bad for me, but I just can't stop myself. There's actually a specific definition of the good-bad genre written by The Ringer. A good-bad movie has these three qualities. Enjoyment of the movie must be derived from its badness. There must be a pervading sense that those who made the film thought what they were doing was great, or at least good. The movie must have been something of a critical failure when it was released. This is a good baseline to describe these kinds of movies. Like, the Fast and Furious movies can't be featured because they're more of a joke on how insane they are, and they're pretty successful. And the same goes for the more modern Mission Impossible movies. I think there's an argument to be had for Sharknado, but I think those movies qualify as good-bad. The same Ringer article lists the top 50 good-bad movies of all time. I looked through it, and it's not a perfect list by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a pretty extensive list. Troll 2, Last Action Hero, Con Air, Wicker Man.
What is that? What is that? What is it? Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes! Ah!
The article shows all the classics and then some, giving it a plot description and ratings and reviews. The article also features a fun little equation to show specifically how they got to that score. I don't have a problem with this kind of bad content. I love that shit. I gobble it up. In college, I would help run a screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show every year. A musical that isn't really critically good by any means, but is also a lot of fun. I don't have a problem with that, or screenings of The Room, or trash reality TV like Bachelor and Bachelorette, because those aren't hurting anyone. Where my problem lies in the good-bad genre is with the plethora of the new bad content that's coming out more recently. There are plenty of these good-bad movies and shows that clearly already exist. I think there was a lot in the late 80s to the mid-90s. Then The Room came out in 2003, and then the genre finally fizzled out with Sharknado in 2010. I think these good-bad movies used to be more of a secret hit, usually by nerds or outcasts that knew where to look for this kind of thing. I think it was Sharknado that first brought it to the mainstream, be it because of its ease of access on basic cable, its widespread advertising campaign, a recognizable actress in Tara Reid, or something else entirely. I mean, this was so recognizable that when it came out, my grandmother called me and told me to watch it. And, I mean, I did, and she would call me every time it was on the Sci-Fi Network. And, man, I love my grandmother, I miss her. There were plenty of Sci-Fi Channel original good-bad movies, but nothing too insulting. More people found out about the genre and experimented with them, but eventually The Room once again rose to popularity.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
In 2018, there was a biopic about the writer, director, star of the film, Tommy Wiseau, and it was created by James and Dave Franco. It was a hit amongst audiences. I think this is what finally propelled your average person to start committing to the good-bad genre. Now back to that list of the new good-bad content. Your 13 Reasons Why, your Emily in Paris, your Christmas Princess whatever the fucks. All that stuff has released over the past 6 or 7 years. For the most part, these are all coming out on Netflix, who's become kind of a jokey platform that will spend money to buy anything. Often enough so, in fact, that there's a South Park punchline about it.
Thanks for calling. Netflix, you're greenlit. Who am I speaking with?
It's also important to point out the frequency of these good-bad movies and shows. Like, it feels like there's a new good-bad movie or show every few months, and the Christmas Princess movies come out like 3 or 4 a year around Christmas, and all have the same goddamn plot. Why do we need 14 movies about princesses trading places? I understand the love of these kind of movies. These classics are mainstays for a reason. If I had $1 for every time I got together with my friends and someone suggests we watch The Room, I'd have like $8. The thing that sucks about these shows and movies is that to Netflix, reviews don't matter and don't bring in money. Views do. The more views a show or movie gets, the more willing they are to renew it for another season, or make a sequel, or something like that. When people are spending their time watching the bad shows, Netflix is spending their money to keep those new shows alive for new seasons. And the problem is that these bad shows are beating out some actually really good shows for funding. So the good shows have to get canceled because of this. Some of my favorites are Teenage Bounty Hunters, The Santa Clarita Diet, American Vandal, Glow, the list goes on and on. These shows got canceled for lack of viewers, and when people are spending their time watching 13 Reasons Why and Emily in Paris, other shows don't get a chance to finish their storylines. The Society and Teenage Bounty Hunters were both only canceled after one season, so they didn't even get a chance to start developing any through lines. I'm sure it's not just the bad stuff that was the only reason Netflix couldn't afford to keep them. They did pay $100 million for the rights to stream Friends in 2019, as well as offering to pay that much monthly to keep The Office, both of which returned to their home platforms of HBO Max and Peacock respectively. Though this definitely helped, I think it's just a lot that went wrong at once for all of these shows. It can be really easy to make fun of this stuff. The cringy dialogue, the production value, stuff like that. It's something that can be fun to throw on at a friend gathering, once it's safe to do so, and then everyone can be a comedian. It's easy to look at these movies and shows and ask, how did these get made? And I love doing that just as much as the next guy. But at the expense of other well-crafted content that gets a good following, I don't think it's worth it. I'll add the Ringer article to the top of the description. Please, for the love of God, make sure you go through these movies before considering any of the Netflix ones. Thanks for sticking around for the short one. Sorry if it was a bit disorganized. Maybe I'm just salty because my favorite Netflix original shows got canceled a little too early. But I do think we need to be more careful with the power we have over streaming services. As usual, I have other videos in the works and ideas floating in my head for the new year, but I'm also looking for normie jobs that pay the bills in my new apartment I have here, so I can't promise the same frequency. I'm also looking to do some collaborations on channels with my buddies from school, so I'll be sure to share those when those come together. To stay updated, be sure to subscribe to the channel for my next upload. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram right here. Follow me for those collaborations and link to those when those get done. I'll link my website down in the description, just in case. Other than that, have a good one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.